Village University Park Board of Trustees regular board meeting is called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams?
Here.
Trustee Wilson?
Here.
Trustee Brooks?
Present.
Trustee McMillan?
Present.
Trustee Payton?
Here.
Trustee Alfred Brown?
Here.
Mayor Cuthbert?
Present. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor, I'm going to ask,
Would you speak? I can hear you.
Madam Mayor, I'm going to ask that the minutes be tabled, they're unavailable.
Okay. Okay. The motion was moved by trustee Paul Wilson, second. Second by trustee McMullen. Roll call.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Williams? Aye. Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee McMillan?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Alfred Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Cuthbert?
Vote aye. Okay, this time we'll ask for general public and you will read the statement for us, please.
Visitors are always welcome at all public meetings of the Board of Trustees. To comment on an issue, persons wishing to speak will be called upon by the mayor during section E, general public comment. The interested party will stand, identify themselves, and make their comment. In order to give proper consideration to all items on this agenda, the mayor will limit participants in a debate and will close off protracted, repetitive, irrelevant, or abusive remarks. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual. Citizens shall not yield unused time to other speakers. The public comment section of the meeting agenda shall be limited to 30 minutes in duration.
Thank you very much. Okay, the first one for general public is Mr. Keith Griffin. Who's the timer for today? We're okay? Thank you.
Good evening. I have a question. I'd like to know, I know you didn't do it last year. Are you all going to have the TIF meetings again?
I'm sorry.
The TIF meetings. It was started, I guess, about 2 years before I left office. And I know it wasn't done last year. Are you all going to have the TIF meetings again? Where you have the board, where all the taxing bodies come together? And are you going to raise the assessment like we do each year? Are you going to raise the levy? The levy? Are you going to vote to raise the levy this year? Because when I was in, I'd always vote no. The levy stay like it was. I know you raised it. So are you going to raise the levy this year?
The village manager?
I can answer.
Yes, please.
Mr. Griffin, first, thank you for your comments and questions. The first answer to your question in regards to the taxing bodies yearly required meeting, the village is currently in the process of getting the TIF audits completed and submitted to the comptroller's office. Once all back audits are completed, which should be done in the next 15 to 30 days, we will be calling a meeting for the taxing bodies to go over the audit results going back from 2013 to present.
Okay.
So to answer that question, as far as tax levy is concerned, we're still evaluating our finances. At this point, I have not tendered a recommendation to the board in regards to the tax levy. So at this point, I cannot answer that question for you, other than tell you it's pending.
Oh, so you said the tax levy is pending?
Yes, we have not done the tax levy for the upcoming year yet. So I have not tendered a recommendation to the board at that point.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. The next special meeting will be Tuesday. We're going to have a special meeting. I'll ask the board for that. Ms. Sandy Hurd. Good audit.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Well, I wanted to say, I'm Sandra Hurd, I'm only Township Assessor and a member of the Finance Committee. I wanted to compliment the board for the new procedure that you all have instituted. I don't know when it started, but the committee as a whole, is that
Of
what
the
it is?
whole.
Of the whole,
Yes.
okay. I didn't know what that was at first until I attended the last one. But I do think it's a great idea that you have like a discussion agenda where you get a chance to discuss things before you go around. I think that's excellent. We should keep that up. And I was wondering, are you expecting to do this every month? What is your?
It was voted upon
Uh-huh.
and it was accepted, and we do the committee of the whole is the first Tuesday of the month, which engaged everyone in the village and the board to ask questions, vote if we're going to put it on the agenda or not. And the next meeting is what this one is, and we accept what we're going to put on the agenda, and we vote it, and that's what expedites our time.
Right. But is this something that you'll be
We
doing?
have done it,
every
yes,
Tuesday?
we've already
Okay.
done it.
Excellent, excellent. All right. I also, maybe it was two weeks ago, you were speaking of a committee that was designed for the purpose of reviewing RFPs. I didn't hear a name of what that committee was, and I know you said that there was going to be like 2 members of the Finance Committee, 2 members from ordinance, 2 from the board. I was just wondering, has that been established, and who are the members?
That goes to those men.
So,
As a matter of fact, there was, yeah. Go ahead.
If you go online, the RFP is posted, and it basically lays out who's the evaluating party. It's the trustee liaison for the Finance Committee, 1 additional trustee, myself, and a member of the public, and 1 member of the Finance Committee itself.
And that was chosen, wasn't that completed?
We have not chosen, names have not been chosen yet because the RFP has not been closed out yet. It closes out, I believe, June 15th. I believe is the closeout date. I could be mistaken, but I know mid-June is the closeout. I will be reaching out to the Finance Committee to request who their member is going to be. The trustee liaison for the Finance Committee is already identified. I'll be reaching out to the mayor and the board to see who the additional trustee will be. The community member has already been chosen by the mayor, I believe. Myself, and that equals up to 5 individuals that will be on that committee.
okay, so this is a committee that is going to be ongoing.
Just to evaluate.
Just for the RFP.
One time, just to evaluate the RFP, to garner 3 recommendations to bring to the board in the full meeting for presentations.
Someone did volunteer
Right.
that particular meeting.
Okay, so I have one more thing, because if you are going to give us 3 minutes,
Okay,
I
just
can
go.
include the
Well,
responses
you
that
should
takes
respond.
up our 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so I have an announcement. The assessor's office will have a workshop on the 24th of this month. That'll actually be 2 days from now, from 5:30 to 6:30. We do have a lot of residents have concerns on their tax bill, so the main focus is going to be that. We'll also be talking about exemptions, which is the best way for people to save on their tax bill. Make sure that you have the proper exemptions, and then assessments, how that plays a role in that. So from 5:30 to 6:30, we will be having refreshments. So we ask that everyone who plans to attend, that you are, give us your statement of that you will be returning or coming, and let your neighbors know. Thank you. Oh, we're sorry. 46 Town Center. I'm always assuming everybody knows that. 46 Town Center, that's right here in the corner of the L of the shape of this building. And it's gonna be, the phone number is 708-534-6023. Again, 708-534-6023.
What date is that again?
Thursday, the 24th. Okay.
There's one more thing. If the people, residents in the Village University Park, if you aren't able to meet and attend this one, there was something in your mail to let you know the other places as well, just in case they aren't able to attend yours. There's another assessors meetings. This is going on all over Will County area.
Right, yeah,
You should
and
check
they
them out.
have that information
Right,
from
that's what
from
I'm
the
saying.
supervisor.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Gina Williams.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I know I haven't been here in a minute, so I want to say how y'all doing.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm grateful to God to see that our cable is back on. I want to
Yes,
give a special
yes.
thanks to the mayor, to Neva Jenkins,
Yes.
to the board, anyone that helped make sure that that was orchestrated. Chief Pay, all of you all, outstanding. This is something that we have been waiting for close to 2 years now. And it's wonderful to be able to turn to Channel 4 and see the board meetings going on, seeing the Cotton Club at the library, all the events. So very grateful for that. I also want to say a special thanks to our mayor who was in Essence Magazine. I want her to personally autograph my copy. I know a few years ago I was at the Hyatt Regency with her when she was recognized as one of the 50 Women of Excellence. Indigo Magazine, the Defender, she represents us well, so I want to thank her for all that she does for our village. I also want to say to Ms. Hurd, I know you're having that meeting on Thursday, but I talked to quite a few residents, and if in the future you could do a Saturday workshop, it would be more conducive, because a lot of people work, and especially those coming from downtown, 5:30 to 6:30 does not give them the time they need to get out here to attend your meeting. And something of that statute, you want to make sure that all the residents are able to attend. So I would say in the future, a Saturday meeting, or if you're going to have it through the week, perhaps 7 to 8, but 5:30 to 6:30 is just a big no-no. And I also want to, I saw the sign for cleaning up the community, the Public Works, thank you for that. And I just want to just tell you all, I'm enjoying the meetings, I see you all are working together, and it looks like we're moving forward, so I just praise God for it. And Mayor, no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Thank you so much. And again, as she alluded to the fact of these meetings, there is one on that schedule that came in your mail, and I think there's one on a Saturday, and there's one in the evenings. So please review that mailing that you received to see what works with your schedule. Thank you. Ms. Deborah Strauss.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, and all present, all viewing. I'm glad Sandra Hurd made her comment about the Committee of the Whole meeting, but last year, I don't remember if it was June or July, Trustee Wilson and I it's a group of us that were out there, not knowing if there was a meeting. I think the second August, okay. I wanted a clarification because I was informed, I think June, July, and August, you only have one meeting instead of two board meetings?
July and August.
Just
Clerk, can you, do you know offhand? Only one meeting, what month we have just one meeting? Right. It's July and August.
July and August?
Yeah, in December.
July, okay, I knew
We have it on
about
the
December.
website, so please pay attention to that one words. I'm not sure, I get confused. Sometimes we have to have special meetings, so sometimes
Okay,
that doesn't work for us.
so my question is, how does that work with the discussion that would occur the first board meeting of the month, and then the voting, the second board meeting of the month, if there's only one meeting in July and in August?
Well, I think we said that we would agree to pay bills, but have the meeting of the whole. But still, if bills payable, we will always do that, if we have the meeting of the whole. Am I correct? That's how we do it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you want to speak to that?
In the months, if there's only one meeting, that would be a regular meeting, so final action could be taken by the Board of Trustees with items on the agenda. Items that are on the agenda, if they haven't been previously discussed in another meeting, could be discussed at that meeting before action is taken.
Okay, so guaranteed July and August meeting, everything that's needed to be, I'm sorry, you said August, or July and August.
I think it's both, I'm not quite sure. This is usually July and August.
One in each.
Only one in December.
Okay. All right, thank you.
No worries. Thank you. And that's all that we received. Thank you very much for your comments. We appreciate you all. Action items, unfinished business is none at this time. New business, first, second, and third reading on ordinance authorizing the execution of a lease addendum to the lease of commercial property by and between the Village University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, and United Dental Resources Corporation for Town Center 8. Is there a motion? So moved by trustee Brooks, second. Second by trustee Wilson. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Boyd?
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Tucker?
Aye.
Madam Mayor, the motion passed. The ordinance number is 02018-20.
Thank you. New business continued F2B. First, second, and third reading ordinance authorizing the execution of the escrow agreements by and between the Village and University Park, Will and Cook Counties, the Clorox International Company, and U.S. Bank National Association related to the settlement and community benefits agreements for case number 21-2017, C as in cow, V as in Victor 62. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Boyd?
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Tucker?
Vote sign.
Madam Mayor, ordinance passed. The ordinance number is 02018-21.
Thank you. F2C, first, second, and third reading, ordinance authorizing the execution of a fiscal financial services agreement by and between the Village and University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, and Spear Financial, Inc. for municipal advisory services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Brooks, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McMullen. Concerns, comments,
Question.
questions?
Or more of a comment, Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir. Trustee Oscar Brown?
I reviewed this ordinance and agreement, and to me, it appears to be an agreement to agree in the future, rather than being an actual contract for service. I did not see an attached Exhibit A on the document.
We have that meeting of the whole. We didn't include it on this one?
Or the proposed engagement letter that is required to actually be an agreement to pick from the list of services that's mentioned in the contract. You have to forgive my mistake on that. I also believe we shouldn't give up our authority in regards to oversight of our contracts in regards to this engagement letter that's being authorized by the village manager.
Yes,
There's no engagement letter in mine. Now, if there's a difference, then you let me know. But it's,
There's a representative from Spirit Financial here to answer your questions if you like. Mr. Phillips, if you want to come up.
I can't really speak to the packet of information you have. The information that's on the website incorporates the financial services agreement behind the recommendation to retain our services. So you should have that information if that's the document that's PDF on the website.
all right, it says here, I'll just read it to you. Any agreement related to municipal advisory engagement shall be memorialized by way of an engagement letter issued by Spears to the client, the engagement letter. There is no engagement letter as part of the package.
Would you speak to that, trustee Payton? Nancy?
In the packet I have, trustee, I have an engagement letter. If you want my packet, I can give it to you. There is an engagement letter in this entire packet.
Did you not get the print? Did you print it yourself or someone print for you, trustee?
It's double-sided, trustee. Have you looked on both sides?
That's the,
on the other,
That's the list of services.
right, and
It's the financial services agreement, which is the engagement letter.
That's the agreement.
You said take out 6,000.
Well, I say that, it says
Hey, right
specifically
here.
engagement letter, there's no engagement letter here. There's a list of all the services that they provide.
yes, please.
Trustee, I believe what Trustee Oscar Brown is indicating is he has a not only speaker, he has a financial services agreement. The financial services agreement references a separate engagement letter that would be forthcoming after the fact, wherein specific services that are going to be provided by Stream Financial would be rendered. This is not obligating any specific services or payments to be made by the village at this time. That there would be a separate engagement letter forthcoming for specific services, and that would have to be acknowledged and have to come back before.
I'm gonna have to rack my brain a little bit on this one, but I believe last time I took contract law, it's been a while, but I believe an agreement to agree is not an agreement. Also, it takes away all oversight in regards to contracts, in my opinion, because it then leaves the list of services to being negotiated by the village manager. We shouldn't take that position away in regards to this.
So just to be clear, the purpose of this is when I spoke to the village attorney, he suggested that anything in regards to municipal financial services, even if we don't have a specific engagement yet, should be brought before the board to approve the firm to start work on behalf of the village. Once work is started to be done on behalf of the village, any services that are rendered that have to be paid for through a separate engagement letter, as any engagement such as auditor services and any other services, comes before the board to get signature approval. So anything that will come before the board in regards to engagement letters has to come before the board. I do not have the authority to sign off on any engagement letters or any expenditure that's going to be more than $5,000. So even if they do engage in the work, anything over $5,000, I don't have the authority to engage, so it will have to come before the board.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is they offer a lot of different services, financial planning services, ordinance services, competitive sales services, negotiated service agreement services. Exactly what services are we going to be getting? Because right now, this is agreement for all of the services that they could provide, unless there's a specific engagement letter saying these are the services they're going to provide at this price. Now, granted, the price fee schedule is in there, but we don't know what we're agreeing to. Or the basic thing, the contract and agreement to agree is not an agreement.
Mr. Phillips, can you explain the services that you all provide?
Sure.
And what the village attorney engaging you all to do, which we have not, we do not have an engagement letter yet, but it was advisable by the attorney to bring this before the board, so you all can make an agreement to make a selection of a municipal advisor, because we did discuss this at the joint board and finance committee meeting.
Yes.
It was discussed thoroughly what their services are, but he can explain their services. And then at that point, once we go in the market or try to get a TAW or a tax anticipation warrant or a tax anticipation note, once that's done, the separate engagement letter will be done. But I will let him explain what his purpose is and what he's going to be doing for the village.
The financial services agreement that's before you is an umbrella relationship that's required by the MSRB and the SEC to enter into relationship. Each individual bond issue will have its own individual engagement letter that we would then provide to the manager and therefore to you as well for approval prior to proceeding on any specific financing. I think as the manager has indicated, there's some work to be done prior to being able to get to the tax anticipation financing, and that would very probably not entail a competitive sale, but a private placement for the financing prior to December 1st.
And upon your presentation, did you not, you and the person that worked with your company, specify exactly other things you offered as well and your experience with that?
We do.
Well, no, I mean, I remember your presentation. And then what we were requesting of you was something different, but you just gave us basically your background on things that you covered, did you not?
Correct.
Thank you.
What we're looking for during this process, we had talked about process of meeting with you to go through a training program. We're like coaches, if you will, during a financing, and so that as you walk through the process, you want to make sure that everybody understands the financing that you're considering and all the options that exist, if options do exist. So we have work to do before that, before we get to that financing with the audits that are being put in place.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Again, it's just my opinion that we should have the exact terms of what we're agreeing to in the form of an engagement letter that should be provided at the time we approve the contract.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
First, before an engagement is done, the board, myself and the board have to appoint a municipal advisor. For a municipal advising company to blindly start working with a municipality with no agreement in place would give us the power just to switch municipal advisors at will, and would be a waste of their time and effort in order to, number one, doing the training and implementing the processes and educating the board. Without this being executed, this is a disservice to the municipal advisor as well as the village, because we're trying to identify a municipal advisor. This basically says that Spear Financial will be the village's municipal advisor. Anything that requires any type of financial action will be done through a separate engagement letter. You cannot provide an engagement letter because we haven't decided to do a specific financing action, because we have not had classes or workshops before the board for the board to make a determination of what they want to do. This is merely an agreement appointing Spear Financial as a municipal advisor based on the services they do. We are not going to select every single service they have, and any service they have will be a separate engagement letter.
Yes. Trustee Wilson?
I guess I kind of agree with Trustee Oscar Brown down there. So it's not spelled out, and maybe it doesn't have to be, I don't know, we didn't have I don't recall discussing that, how this worked. I remember seeing two different firms, but he's talking about training. Is that going to be for the board? Because when it's not spelled out, we don't generally see it. And if it's just training and meetings with, because it's not spelled out what services we're getting, it'll be just between you and the village manager.
Not really. I mean, we begin certainly at the staff level, but ultimately, prior to financing, the elected officials have to understand the options that you have before you, so that there can't be a financing, if you don't know what's going on, and so that you would basically then direct the financing after the training session is completed. And again, the financial services agreement is an umbrella agreement. It's not meant to be finance specific. It's a general agreement that's required by the SEC before we enter into relationships on individual engagements.
Okay. Any other questions? Concerns? Any other? Okay, what clarification do you still need? Anyone, please?
Mayor,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I would just like to say, I understand fully what you're saying. I understand the legality that's required for this engagement. I think it's time for us to move ahead, and that this is a service that we're going to desperately need to get back on sound financial ground. So we went through a joint meeting with the Finance Committee. We heard presentations, and you were selected because you were literally 10 times better than the other person that we reviewed in terms of your success in getting things done. So I appreciate you, and I think we just need to go ahead and move forward with this.
All the board, excuse me, do you have any other questions? Because they were here at the Finance Committee, they did do a presentation They were meeting of the whole, so I thought everyone understood. If there are any questions, clarifications, please speak now. Okay? Do you maybe have anything else? Okay. Roll call. I'm sorry.
Both sides.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Trustee Wood,
Both sides.
trustee Walter. Abstain. Trustee Brooks,
Both sides.
trustee McMullen,
Both sides.
trustee Payton,
Aye.
trustee Oscar Brown,
Nay.
Mayor Copeland.
both sides.
I'm sorry,
That's okay. Pass the number.
ordinance number is 02018-22.
Thank you very much. F2D, first, second, and third reading ordinance of the Village University Park, Cook County, Illinois, relating to the concussion injuries in youth sports activity. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, second.
Second.
Second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments?
Comment, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir. Here you go.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah, no, right? Thank you, Gary.
Madam Mayor, I was not at the last meeting, but I would like to pass so that no one would be in the dark on what I'm talking about. The board members, I think we got 3 trustees down there, including yourself. And then going this way, I would like to go Wilson, Chief Payton. Okay, and the clerk. You want more? Okay, then that's what this one is for. Okay, there you go. Here we go, Madam Mayor. Okay. Madam Mayor, tonight on the ordinance, that's first, second, and third reading, I know that I had talked about it previously, but I would like to say that I do object to this ordinance being passed tonight because it does lack true information and gives the true advantage to our youth sports in University Park. As a coach for the USA football, certified for 5 years, I also trained as the safety coordinator, 8 hours full training for the Moline Mavericks youth and football chair. My awareness of this subject is indeed, should be acknowledged as knowledgeable when it comes to the game of football. In our meeting on May 1st, I did read for the record that several states have put in legislation to create a safety measure for all the sports that a player may come into a concussion or a suspicion of a concussion. It was also noted that night that I told you that it was a consensus from the parents when there was a meeting with State Senator Napoleon Harris, where the parents clearly made it that they